very pretty. Cement makes a putty putty. 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 Putty but oh, putty putty booty. Super sun. Super sun, super sun, super moony. Avocado. Avocado seed super moony. Pepperoni. Cement makes a putty putty. Cement makes a putty putty. Cement makes a putty putty. Baby, mama, putty putty. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I wonder where you are. I'm a baby, da da da, bang, 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 bang.
In the hand dance that I made, I was trying to capture Jack's fast and very furious way of writing his scroll version of On the Road. It took him many years to be able to come to that point of being able to write the scroll, and it was very frustrating getting there. But the time of writing the scroll was a fast and exciting time, and I tried to capture that using music by Ornette Coleman, who was a jazz musician during the Beat Generation, and with the hand gestures. I also tried to capture his insecurity, which he faced during the writing of On the Road, and which was referenced in the opening essay, Fastest Time, that I read. So, yeah, that's my explanation of the video.
Fastest Time mentioned many themes that stayed in the evolution of On the Road. I picked the three I felt are most prominent in the original scroll and found passages in the book that I think exemplify that particular theme. 1. The generation does not know what refuge it is seeking, but it is seeking. You boys going to get somewhere or just going? We didn't understand this question, and it was a damned good question. 2. The road is the path of life, and life is a road. All ready for the purity of the road again, the purity of moving and getting somewhere, no matter where, and as fast as possible and with as much excitement and digging of all things as possible. 3. How to live then becomes much more crucial than why. You see, heebie-jeebies, I'm classification 3A. Just Hunter Cassidy has a sore butt. His wife gives him daily injections of penicillin for his thumb, which produces hives, for he's allergic. He must take 60,000 units of Fleming juice within a month. He must take 1 tablet every 4 hours for this month to combat allergy produced from his juice. He must take codeine aspirin to relieve the pain in his thumb. He must have surgery on his leg for an inflamed cyst. He must rise next Monday at 6 a.m. to get his teeth cleaned. He must see a foot doctor twice a week for treatment. He must take cough syrup every night. He must blow and snort constantly to clear his nose, which has collapsed just under the bridge when Operation some years ago weakened it. He lost his thumb on his throwing arm. Greatest 70-yard passer in the history of New Mexico State Reformatory. And yet, I've never felt better, and finer, and happier with the world, and to see lovely children playing in the sun, and I'm so glad to see you, my fine, gone wonderful Jack, and I know everything will be all right.
Fast this time.
They told me
that it would be as simple as going from point A to point B, but I knew better. It was all thanks to coloring books with Connect the Dots. Connect the dots, and you have some image of a princess or a bunny or a fire truck. Make sure you connect dot 1 with dot 2 to dot 3 and so on. Now, this may seem like a simple task, but no matter how simple, I had trouble connecting the dots. Frustrated, I erased every line I made and had a paper filled with streaks of pencil marks, bleeding into the paper, screaming out to me how badly I had failed. They told me point A was life and in consequence point B, death. Life, they said, traveled in a linear manner, the way you organize rows of filing cabinets, all looking the same but with different keys to them. Life is not straight. No, it goes in circles, and it makes turns like a car swerving to prevent an accident. Life moves up and down the way an electrocardiogram manifests the rate of someone's heartbeat. It moves the way ocean waves orbit. Gravity pulls the water into the downward crest, forcing beneath the crest. The falling water pushes through the troughs to an upward position, leaving and coming back, embracing the shoreline, and then within seconds, saying goodbye. But then it will do the same thing over and over, saying hello and goodbye. Walls can crumble, so can sugar cubes, but neither are big enough to measure the anxiety I feel when I think about the crumbs my body will turn into. And is it true that after the graceful birth giver delivers you, you have only a couple of years and then you die? Because whoever said that really ought to meet my birth giver. She says there is no such thing as point A to point B. There is life, the in-between moments. There's death, but even then, there's more. After death, there is the promise that your mind and heart will still live. The flesh rots and the body collapses, but the mind and the heart remain. They say the mind and the heart can't exist without a body, but this becomes untrue when you die. I don't know if you believe in afterlife, but I sure do. There are days when I picture myself leaving this earthly world only to enter the celestial realm where I am face to face with the man in the robe and beard. Maybe you don't believe in that, and that's okay. Maybe you believe that once you die, bits of you are dispersed into the air, other human beings breathing in little particles of you. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I am pretty damn terrified of what comes after I die. Because I know that what comes after I die is still life. It's eternal life. I dream of heaven, and I also have nightmares about it. The day I die, my pulse comes to an end, but my soul lives and travels somewhere else. Death is the starting line to my race to heaven. When I die, my soul will be running and running, trying to find its way to heaven. And yes, there are days when I'm filled up to my boots with disappointment and wonder, asking, God, did you really promise me eternal life? But he always tells me again and again, life doesn't stop here. And the agony I feel when I try to wrap my head around the fact that I will live forever is like trying to publish a book only to have someone tell you the book is nowhere near finished. Maybe it will never be finished.
This is my life on the road. I really hope the road never ends. My departure from Earth is just the beginning.
So, although this passage focused on many aspects of his editing and publishing, one particular passage that struck me from the essay was the following. Let me get it. So, long before his reading in Buddhism, Kerouac was intuitively attempting to reconcile a worldview that saw his lived experience both as one made painfully meaningless by his hardwired knowledge of mortality, and as one to be celebrated in every detail and at every moment, precisely because, as he writes in Visions of Cody, we are soon all going to die. So, I think that that passage really encompasses what Kerouac managed to do so perfectly in On the Road. And the reason I relate so much to Kerouac in general and his experiences is because he lives to live, and he experiences just for the sake of experiencing things, not because it's going to lead him to a certain place or have a certain result, but just because he wants to do everything. And I think that really, this passage really explains that quite well. And as Kerouac writes in On the Road, the only people for him are the mad ones, the ones who are mad to live, mad to talk, mad to be saved, desirous of everything at the same time. The ones that never yawn or say a commonplace thing, but burn, 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 like fabulous yellow Roman candles exploding like spiders across the stars. So, yeah, we're all going to die. No one can deny that. And we also can't know what's going to happen when we die. So we can have beliefs, we can think something's going to happen, but we never know. So, I mean, in my opinion, I think in Kerouac's also, in the meantime, we should enjoy our lives. And as he says, for life is holy and every moment is precious. So for me, this essay really illustrated Kerouac's struggle to make the book read true. I guess to make it read as though we're living those experiences, breathing their air in the car, on the road, with all of those characters, with Jack and Neil and Alan. And I think that's why we fall in love with them. And he went through so much editing just to figure out that the best way to tell the story was just to tell it as it happened and let that be a spiritual experience in itself. And I just adored reading about that process, and I think it's so very true, and I loved it. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you.